Hello, I'm Debra Wallace, licensed marriage family therapist. Today I'm doing my positive reframe on change. I have noticed that we have a interesting paradoxical relationship with change. Many of us want change. We're often wishing if only so-and-so would change, someone would stop doing this, if only I won the lottery or this happens, then my life will be better. And it makes complete sense. We want change. The interesting thing is that we're also afraid of change. Change, especially when it happens quickly and is negative, can overwhelm us. Like too much, too fast, too soon, it overwhelms our nervous system. And our nervous system develops and integrates and feels more safe, secure, and in control when things are happening in consistent fashion. And that's why we have rituals and routines, and we keep our environment looking a certain way. And that's why, we're clutter. You'll notice things out of order will make your nervous system activated and stressed. So we like consistency, and that helps us feel safe and in control. And as much as I wish we can control everything, there are way too many variables in this life we can't control. And the reality is the only constant is change. Change is inevitable. And the reason why I wanted to talk about change is the seasons are changing now. And I'm reminded every time this year as the leaves start changing color, it never just happens that the tree is suddenly red. It's usually you just start noticing a gradient change in one area of the tree, and then it expands. And the same thing with the temperatures. It never goes from summer to fall overnight. It is a transition. It is a gradual change where we have less hot days and more cooler days. And that is really what I've found as being a therapist for almost 25 years, that true change, natural, positive change is often more gradual and takes time. And most of the time we won't even see that we won't even feel the results yet, because you don't notice things. We notice more negative things, and we don't notice when things are going right. So it's what I often, as I help many people with change, it's usually a lot of little things that they have to change and tweak in their daily lives. Because think about, what you think about it's often adjusting how you think, how you talk to yourself, what you eat, what you're listening to, what you're watching, who you're hanging out with. All these have a cumulative effect on your mind, your body, your spirit. And so we're often making a lot of changes as we do that. And for an example, many want fighting to stop. I work with many families and couples, and they want the family to stop, the fighting to stop. And as much as I wish that was possible, I wish I could wave a red wand and say no fighting. It's not. I'm actually going to do another positive reframe, because conflict is actually, there's benefits to conflict. It's often signaling areas where we do need to change and grow and connect more. So that, I'm going to help clients, how I'm going to help clients with stopping fighting is, instead of saying, there's going to be no fighting, we want less fighting. Yet I want you to be more aware of how your reactions, when you're in a fight with someone, I encourage you to notice your thoughts, your feelings, your sensations, and are you able to identify and connect with those more quickly before it escalates? And even if it does escalate, there's a range of negative behaviors that can happen when things escalate. And maybe you didn't go to the full escalation and we went to a little step down. That's change. That's progress. That's good. And even if you stormed out of the room angry, if you stopped it before it escalated to the one of the worst case scenarios, that's good. And then especially, if you went away, it takes on average 20 minutes to calm down. You went away and then you came back and you were able to empathize with the other person's point of view instead of blaming and demanding that they change. and that you owned and accepted responsibility for your own thoughts and feelings and past triggers and you communicated your needs. That's change. Those are the things you need to look at. And like I said, you probably won't notice when it's going well and going good. And it's not until you take a step back and reflect on that and see that. So it's really important to know that change is possible, because I get that it can feel really frustrating. I find a lot of people feel like when they're making all these changes, it's like, it's not a not fun cha-cha dance. It's like one step forward and two steps back. And I've noticed it's very normal that happens when we're making these changes, because you're human. There's a lot of variables that you're adjusting, and life is stressful. A lot of things are happening. And so I really want to encourage that change is completely possible. I mean, it's inevitable. It's always happening, regardless, whether it's for the positive or the negative. Change is always happening. And yet the potential for positive change is really limitless. It's beyond our imagination. It's phenomenal what the potential is out there. There's another metaphor I like to share with clients, that when they're feeling overwhelmed, is to think about when you go visit a lake or a river, and even if you go to the same spot at this river and you walk into that river in the same spot to take a step in it, you are not stepping in the same river, and you are not that same person stepping in that same river. We are constantly evolving and growing in emotional, relational, physical, emotional, so many ways, spiritual ways. And that's the same thing that's happening to anyone you're in relationship with. And so often when we're trying these new skills, these healthy skills, and sharing, being vulnerable, we're not often going to get that, that first time we do it, or the 10th time we do it. We might not get that big shift that we're wanting, because it's so many variables that are at play. Just we're organisms. Just think about walking that river, in that same spot. There's so much going on, the complexity and the dynamics that are happening, and that's happening in our relationships. And so there's going to be that one time when all of a sudden it just, because they're in different states, their nervous system's in different states. They've got different variables that are out of control in their life. But there's going to be moments. The more you keep doing this, the more you keep putting yourself forward to make these changes, that it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. It's inevitable. I know it's hard, yet it's so possible. And I love being able to share all the good news, all the good stuff that can happen during these, when we feel afraid, and how we can embrace these moments. So please check out my website, positivereframe.org, as well as any of my social media. You can follow me as I share resources all the time. I love sharing about the brain. My master's is in human development and family studies, so I love sharing about the human body and the mind and the spirit as well. If you would like to hear another topic for a positive reframe, please leave a comment. I'm doing these weekly, and I would love to hear from you. Take wonderful care. Thank you.